The 2026 Ellison Kibler at Merrill Lynch ITL Seminar will be held Wednesday, February 25th at 5:30 p.m. sharp in room 205 of the Indiana Convention Center. Gordon Whittaker will be my co-host that day. I don't know if he knows what he's in for yet, but he joins us today. He's the man behind Ellison Kibler at Merrill Lynch. Gordon, welcome.
Thanks, Neil. Good to see you.
Good to have you here, buddy. All right, so Gordon, you got decades of experience in the industry. People look to you from all over the place about money and finance. You've worked with professionals in every sort of business around. Why does working with football players appeal to you, and kind of what makes it different?
Yeah, so Neil, it really comes down to the importance of the work that we do for football players and athletes in general. You think about a traditional career path. You graduate from college and you start out in your career, and you're sort of at the bottom of the ladder, not only in terms of your title, but also your income. And as time goes by, you get to move up the ladder, make more money, so on and so forth. And if you think about it, that opens up opportunities for you to make mistakes and not have those mistakes be catastrophic. Football players in particular, but athletes in general, it's flipped completely on its ear. So really, they make the most amount of money that they're going to make within a couple of years of leaving college or entering their profession, and it really then goes down after that. And the consequences of mistakes, they're not in a position where they can make a financial mistake because they don't have the time to recover from it, and they don't have the opportunity to recover from it. And so that level of responsibility, we have, as you mentioned, had the opportunity to work with all kinds of people in all kinds of different industries. But the sense of satisfaction that we get from being able to guide these young athletes to a life of financial freedom is, there's very few things out there that give us that sense of accomplishment. And really, one of the things that we're most proud of is the opportunity to guide them not only to that life of financial freedom, but with financial freedom, it creates the opportunity for them to pursue a life of passion when they're done playing in the league. I heard a stat earlier this year that every single week of the season, from preseason to the Super Bowl, somebody plays in their last football game. Yeah. And when you think about that transition from being a football player into doing something else can be a very challenging transition, especially if you haven't prepared appropriately from a financial perspective. And so we're really attracted to the idea of helping these young people create lives again of purpose, and helping them to create a situation where they can do whatever they want to, and they have a ton of optionality when their time in the league is done.
That's such an important point about the finality of football careers and how they're ending all the time, and never have thought about it that way, but wow, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
So you're based in Charlotte. The firm's based in Charlotte.
Correct.
The Carolina Panthers won a division title this year in the NFC South. Didn't run away with it, 8-9 record, but who's counting? Gave the Rams all they can handle in the playoffs. Does it in Carolina benefit your practice at all, Gordon?
So I don't know that it benefits our practice. As we're going to find out at the end of April, we have very little control over where our guys go. But I will tell you, the city is different when sports is successful. And so Charlotte, we didn't have football until the 1990s. We had basketball, but in its current form, the Hornets didn't come back until sometime in the early mid 2000s. And Charlotte has grown so much. There are people from all over the country, and usually they bring their teams with them. Mm-hmm. So we don't have the New York history. We don't have the Boston history. And so when teams aren't doing well, it almost becomes an afterthought. But the inverse is also true. That playoff game, I have never seen a football stadium as alive as that stadium was. And yeah, the outcome didn't go the way that we all wanted it to go. But man, it was exciting. It was exciting. And the Hornets are on a bit of a run here too. I've got season tickets to the Hornets, and I went to the Pistons game a couple weeks ago. Monday night, the city was insane. Packed stadium on a Monday night. And it was all anybody could talk about the next day. And so a city becomes a community when you have those shared experiences. And so the more successful the Hornets can be, the more successful the Panthers can be, the better the city becomes. So that's I don't know if it's benefited the practice, but it's certainly benefited our lives.
We in Houston get a rap kind of as a bad sports town, even though we've got all the majors and all those kind of things. Has Charlotte always been a great sports town that you know of?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Hornets, the Hornets is sort of the bedrock professional sports team. I think the Hornets have always enjoyed a pretty solid fan base. Now that definitely took a hit when they moved into New Orleans, and then came back as the Bobcats and ultimately the Hornets again. But it's really, being in the Southeast, it's really more of a college sports town, even though there isn't a big presence in Charlotte necessarily at UNCC to a degree. But you got Chapel Hill right up the road, you got Duke right up the road, you got South Carolina, and Clemson and so forth. So there's a lot of college sports passion. But again, I think that translates into the pros when you have a little bit more of that history. And so I'm excited to continue to see that develop as the city continues to grow.
Yeah. All right, so Gordon, you see these guys up close, you see the mistakes they made. Looking at the college space, look at the pro space, NIL, the whole thing. What's the most common mistake athletes make when it comes to money?
I think the most common mistake that athletes make when it comes to money is a lack of appreciation for delayed gratification. And everybody is being an athlete, whether it's on the NIL level in college or for the select few to get the opportunity to do so on a professional level, and they come into a significant amount of money at a very young age. And there is this desire to not only keep up with what your persona would indicate, but also keep up with people in the locker room and all those other things. And it really, the failure to appreciate what you spend money on today, the cost of that expenditure is not the dollars you spend today. It's the future value of those dollars as they compound over the next several decades. And it's a lesson that we really try to drive home with our players. I never take the approach of telling a young person you can't spend money on something. I have kids, I know, and I was a kid at one point. I know exactly how well that goes. What I try to do instead is show them, look, if you're going to spend X dollars on a new car, that's not that's not 150, $200,000 you're spending. That's $1 million 10 years from now or 20 years from now. That's the difference between being financially secure and having optionality when you're done playing. No car today is worth financial security 20 years down the road.
Gordon, I know the character of the players that you'll represent. Do you try to identify players that are going to be maybe a bit more patient with their money, shall we say? Or is it a situation where you've kind of got to do that education and walk them through that as you begin to represent them?
That's a great question. We are very selective in who we take. And I tell inevitably, we're talking to the parents early on. And I tell the parents, you think you're interviewing us, but the truth is we're interviewing you. This is too hard. It's too hard to go down a road where it's destined for failure. And, I have this strong desire to try and help everybody. I really want to drive good outcomes, and whether or not it results in business for us, I want to see positive outcomes. We all know the statistics from the NFLPA on the frequency with which players go broke. I want to play a role in changing those numbers, but at the same time, we're one team and we can't take everybody. And so we have to focus our efforts on the places where the opportunities are the greatest and the mindset and the character is the greatest. And so, yeah, we screen pretty extensively and sometimes we're surprised in both directions, to be honest with you. But we do the best we can to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success in both directions.
Absolutely. I get it. All right. So Gordon, you all were the title sponsor of our seminar last year. So excited to have you back. Why'd you decide to return, man?
Well, Neil, to be honest with you, I love what you're doing. The work that you have done with getting agents ready for the NFLPA exam, the work that you've done with preparing young people for interviews and media appearances, and then this this effort to honor scouts. I mean, it really the content that you put out every Friday is the gold standard for football business. If you read only one thing a week and that was it, you would know more than most people about what's going on in the business of football. And the opportunity to play a part in this, the opportunity to provide support to the organization. I mean, we're very proud to have that opportunity, and we jump at the chance to continue the partnership.
We're certainly honored to have you back, buddy. I appreciate the kind words. All right, so you've worked with All-Star Games in the past. Seminars aren't the only thing you sponsor. But our focus obviously is scouts and executives, whereas with All-Star Games, you're talking more about players. What's the best part about working with people that are part of the scouting community who may be a little older, a little different part of their careers, maybe make a little less money? How's it different?
Well, football, the business of football is an ecosystem, and being a part of that ecosystem is important. And a lot of the challenges that players face from a financial perspective are the same challenges, maybe to a different scale, that scouts face, that executives face. I mean, this is a career that can come and go in the blink of an eye. And so having the opportunity to work with scouts, having the opportunity to work with executives, we're really having those same conversations. You can't, if you work in industry, you can forecast that career out 30 or 40 years pretty effectively, in many cases. But in anything that touches football, you just can't make those plans. And so the consequences of making good financial decisions early on, whether it's whether you're a player and it's a whole bunch of money coming via a signing bonus, or it's you're a scout or you're an exec that maybe the dollars start out a little bit smaller, but again, the consequences are just as great. So the opportunity to help guide them to lives of financial security is something that we take we're just as proud of.
Okay, now obviously, Gordon, you work with people from all walks of life. Are there any professions that are anywhere similar to athletics when it comes to personalities and even investing needs and maybe the temporal nature of the job?
So it's a great question. The only thing that I could think of that's similar would probably be the entertainment space. And if you think about the nuance, it's not just that it's a significant amount of money. It's a significant amount of money that comes all at once, usually when you're very young. And so you maybe have influencers. That's an area that we really haven't gotten into beyond how athletes are influencers these days. But I'll say, fortunately, we don't see a lot of parallels. I don't know that my heart could take a lot more experience in these kinds of endeavors, to be honest with you. But it really is a unique set of circumstances.
It certainly is that. Last question, Gordon. Last year at our seminar, you discussed choosing a career in finance over a career in medicine for a number of good reasons. And I kind of followed all that, and I thought, I probably made the same choice. Do you ever think about the road not taking, Gordon?
Not at all. Not for a second. And I work a ton, probably too much, but I don't take call. I've never had to take call. I've never gotten a call in the middle of the night and had to go into the hospital and see a patient, I appreciate the fact that I don't have to do that. But I'll tell you, looking back, when I started in this business when I was 22 years old, and it has turned out a lot different than I thought it was going to. I understood that I would be playing a role in guiding the financial outcomes of families. What I didn't appreciate was the fact that I was going to have the opportunity to be an entrepreneur as well. And so we've grown this team to over 40 people, multiple offices in multiple geographical locations, and that opportunity to grow that business and that opportunity to I talk about changing the financial lives of our athletes and changing the financial lives of the football industry people that we have the opportunity to work with. We've had the opportunity to change the financial outcomes for all 40 of the employees on our team as well. And, that responsibility, but also that opportunity is nothing I would ever trade. It's been an incredible experience, and that's a part of it that I didn't realize would be so fulfilling, and probably has been the most fulfilling.
Absolutely. All right. Once again, the 2026 Ellison Kibler at Merrill Lynch ITL Seminar, Wednesday, February 25th. 5:30 p.m., room 205 of the Indiana Convention Center. Come meet Gordon. Come meet me. See you in Indianapolis.
Looking forward to it, Neil. See you soon.